And a new luxury lodge in Kenya's Maasai Mara Game Reserve has sparked a legal battle between conservationists and developers. The Ritz-Carlton, set to charge more than $3,500 a night, is opening along the Sand River, as sport activists say is critical for the annual wildebeest migration. Activists argue the project threatens both wildlife and local communities and are asking a Kenyan court to stop the launch. Sylvia Kadhoni reports.
When Ritz-Carlton opens its first safari launch in Kenya's Maasai Mara Reserve, guests will pay nightly rates starting from $3,500 per person for tended suites with private decks overlooking a river crossed by migrating wildebeest. But the director of a Maasai Conservation Institute and researchers says the true cost of those sublime views will run much higher by damaging one of the world's most renowned ecosystems.
The president issued a directive. It was a very much welcome directive, because until then, development, construction, erection of fences, buildings and so forth, along wildlife corridors and within wildlife corridors was just out of control. Now, Ritz-Carlton was built just, months ago, even in spite of that directive still being in place.
The Pash alleges in the lawsuit that the 20-suite camp, which boasts plunge pools and a personalized butler service, obstructs a crucial migration corridor between Maasai Mara and Tanzania's Serengeti.
This is a tradition, something they've done over the years, and that ought to have been respected, because interfering with this natural path would mean that the wildebeest behavior has to change.
The case also questions whether an environmental impact assessment was ever done and published as required under the Kenyan law.
If you look at the tourism industry behavior today as we speak, they're still doing the same stuff. They're driving off the road, they are, harassing wildlife, and at the same time, you have community members who have knowledge on how to deal with situations. They are not being involved at all in this industry, in how tourism is regulated, in how tourism interacts with the community.
Marriott, the hotel's owner, says all approvals were obtained. Local developer Lazizi Mara insists the site is not a wildlife crossing, while Nairo County and environment officials have yet to respond. For locals, the fight goes beyond one luxury launch. They say unchecked development is threatening a priceless migration and a way of life. The Environment and Land Court in Narok will now decide whether the Ritz-Carlton launch can open its doors or if the wildebeest migration takes priority. Sylvia Kadhoni, NTV.